So I'm going to tell you the importance of IQ in terms of your success in life, particularly in the workforce. Anywhere area where there's a certain amount of intelligence required, IQ will make a difference. Um, so yeah, I did an IQ test when I was 17. I got 70, which means 98% of the population have a higher IQ than I do. And it's impossible to get by with an I. Well, it's not impossible. It's very difficult to get by with an IQ that low. Um, I got very bad grades in school, even though I worked very hard. And yeah, that's the thing. So working hard. Well, there's such thing as working too hard. I think that's what I did. I worked too hard when it came to my studies, and that's the problem with the school system. It's one size fits all. Oh, if you're not getting good grades because you're not working hard enough. But if you get really good grades, it means you're a very hard worker, and that's a very one size fits all. And it's a big issue because no, it's not always because the person wasn't working hard enough. It's because I was well personally I was overworked, and you know personally I think I should have done less to get better results. And I've learned that the hard way. I've managed to increase my IQ a fair bit just studying for half an hour a day. Last few months, I've been reading for 30 minutes every day. I thought that would help improve my YouTube, but it hasn't. Um, I've realized that in order to get good at YouTube, you have to do. It's a specific skill. You have to actually do it. Talk to a camera, and that's what I'm trying to do now. So, um, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, IQ is very important because when I had an IQ of 70, I was, working at McDonald's and I was struggling. It was a mentally head-wrecking job. I only got the hang of two stations really in my 1 year, 9 months at McDonald's. I was chicken batch and grill, and well, kind of got the hang of fries. I could keep up on fries if I was really determined, and of course lobby as well. But that's the easiest station known to humanity. So yeah, having that IQ of 70, it made my life very difficult. My head was wrecked after every shift. And as soon as I started trying to improve my IQ, it just became easier. My head wasn't wrecked after every shift. And, now I'm working at McDonald's, working at a different McDonald's restaurant now. And I just find it easier. You can pick things up a lot quicker. You know what I mean? Like wraps, like on the line, I was at McDonald's for a year and 9 months and I left, and I never knew how to make a wrap. But yesterday, when I was flexing on the line, I was able to learn how to make a wrap like that. You learn a lot quicker when you have a high IQ. Okay, hey, you need two things: you need practice and you need IQ. So when I was at McDonald's the first time, I had the practice, not the IQ, but I've improved my IQ since I left, and yeah, it just comes easier, and that's the thing. So yeah, of course, if I were to when I was working at McDonald's the first time, yeah, there's people who are new. They're very smart. They went to university, but they're new to their job. They're beginners, so obviously they weren't as good at me as say chicken batch or grill, but they pick it up a lot quicker than I do. You know what I mean? So that's the importance of IQ. It helps you pick things up. You know what I mean? And when you have an IQ of 70, you don't really learn anything in class. You sit there, you pay attention, and you try to learn information. You don't learn anything, and the teacher's saying, "Oh, you're not working hard enough. You're not paying attention in class." But I am. You got to get out of this one size fits all. If you treat every student differently, depending on what standard they're at, if they treated me like a guy with an IQ of 70, they gave me a workload that would be suitable for a guy with an IQ of 70, I would have done much better and I would have improved. But because they assumed I was as smart as the average person, I didn't improve. I was overworked, and I've improved massively just for reading half an hour a day. 30 minutes. University students would laugh at that, but that's what's helping me improve myself. Okay, and yeah, I was bored just working chicken batch and grill the whole time at McDonald's. So now I'm like, right, I need to improve my brain and try to get the hang of more stations because I don't want to be just stuck on that same job, those same two stations for the rest of my life. I want to be able to progress, get the hang of all the stations, if you know what I mean. So that's why it's important to improve your IQ. It will open many opportunities to you. I don't need to go to university to do this. In fact, if you have below average IQ, I'd strongly suggest not even bother trying to go to university. I think you should have an IQ of at least 115 if you want to go to university. That's what Jordan Peterson said in one of his videos. He was talking to a group of university students, and he said chances are none of you have an IQ below 115 unless you work like an absolute horse to keep up. But working like a horse isn't sustainable. So yeah, that would be my advice. You know, if you have an IQ say 19, you're 18, you want to go to university, don't go. Improve the IQ first. Maybe get a job and just maybe do a little bit of studying or reading or art or something that will improve your IQ in your free time. And yeah, if you do that and improve your IQ, get up to 115, then consider going to university. I think they should do. I watched a video from the 1950s and a YouTube video, and it was a group of people who scored 120 or higher in their IQ test, and in a year group, and these people were told, "Oh, you guys should be going to college," and that made a bit of sense because you know they only told the intelligent people to go to college. um, you know, they're saying to the kids, right, you need to be at this standard in order to go to university. And I think that makes a lot more sense. Um, but still, having said that, just because you have high IQ doesn't mean you should go to university. You should go to university. There's other options, if you know what I mean. So that's just the way it is. That is just the way it is. So yeah. What should I say now? Yeah, do that. Improve your IQ. You know, because if you have an IQ of like 90 or 80 or whatever, low IQ, and you're being pressured to go to university, well, it's going to be very painful. It's going to be very stressful. A lot of people have mental breakdowns because they're really not smart enough to go to university, but they're pressurized into going, and it's just not a good idea. I think they'd be better off to be told, right, just study for, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes a day, 45 minutes a day. Just read, just make YouTube videos, do something you enjoy, do art, do music, whatever, and just slowly improve your IQ that way. And that'll make a lot more sense, if you know what I mean.